Say, I can't think of how to make money. If you start doing that for a year and just keep a notepad, you'll have 100 ideas of how to make money.
I first made my millions of dollars. The first time I ever became a millionaire was with webcam studio. This is how I first ever made money. I mean, I was a kickboxing world champion, but kickboxing is not boxing, right? So I'd make like $100,000 a fight. You fight 2 or 3 times a year. You pay 20% to your manager. You pay taxes, but you're not rich.
How to become filthy rich. Andrew Tate's financial advice. Andrew Tate recently talked about how he started making actual money because although he was a kickboxing champion, he was only making a couple $1,000s a year, which obviously wasn't enough. But he was investing so much of his time in his kickboxing career that he was fed up. So one day he decided to retire and invest his time and effort into something that could actually make him a millionaire. The first step he suggests to take if you want to become filthy rich is to do a lot of research on money and how banks work. Once you know all about it, then you need to find ideas for a business. Consider yourself sitting in a restaurant and just think about the profit margin of this restaurant. And if there's a place nearby that you can rent and compete with this place. This mindset will help you a lot in every walk of life because you'll be constantly thinking about making money. So even if one of your ideas fails, the 5th or 6th one will most certainly succeed. Andrew Tate personally became a millionaire by using his girlfriends and making a website for webcam girls. He started off with just 2 girls and ended up having 75 girls in 5 different locations. These girls were actually an asset for him. So it teaches us that using assets to become filthy rich is always a good idea. Also, whatever ideas come to your mind, just make sure that you note them down in a notepad. So by the end of the month, you'll have at least 10 to 20 doable ideas. And by the end of the year, you'll have hundreds of ideas that could make you a millionaire. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe.
And I didn't consider myself rich, like 30, 40 grand chunks, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, living in London, London rents, need a car. You're trying, like you're not rich in any way. And that's actually the reason I retired, because I woke up one day and I thought, I'm giving 6 hours a day of absolute focus and energy to this. And I believe I'm smart enough that if I put that much tenacity into something else, I can be a multimillionaire. I truly believed that. I was like, I've realized now I've reached the pinnacle of kickboxing. My choice is either to change over to MMA, which I was offered to do earlier in my career, but at the time the kickboxing contract paid more money. I had to pay the bills, so I went kickboxing. Change over to MMA, learn to wrestle, change over to UFC, blah, blah, blah. But this is also like 7, 8 years ago where even the UFC didn't pay the money it pays now. If you're like top 5 or champion, yeah, but most of the dudes you're gonna see there in the prelims, they're getting 10 grand a fight, 9 grand a fight. It's nothing, right? So it'd be like starting my career all over again. And at the age of 28, I thought I don't have the gumption to start again. I've been through hell for this. I've broken my hand 8 times. My ribs have been broken. I don't want to do this all over again. I decided to be very logical about it. Chess player, right? So it's like, I want money. What is money? How do banks work? How does credit work? What's fractional reserve banking? All these things we now know to be the biggest cons of the century, right? So I'm sitting there researching money for days and days and days. And then I get more mad because I'm like, whoa, money's trash and I don't have any. Now I'm really annoyed, right? I thought like everyone else did that, everyone puts their money in the bank and the bank takes some of other people's money and lends it out. I didn't know they invented it from the sky. I still at that point thought money was linked to gold. I didn't know nothing. So I'm learning all this stuff and I'm getting really angry. I'm like, now this is really annoying me. So anyway, I had a piece of paper there and I'm in my research phase and it start writing down some dude on YouTube. I don't know who he was, some dork. He was a pro gold guy. This is before, maybe Bitcoin was probably around then, but like early. He was a pro gold guy saying buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And he was saying the difference between an asset, a liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I started trying to write down what I had. I was like, I have an apartment, I have a BMW. I'm in good shape, but I already use that for fighting. Every time a girl would quit and try and do it by herself, she'd make a fraction of the money overall. Because she hasn't got the instruction, she hasn't got the motivation, she's just lazy with it, right? And women have a very different mentality to money than men. If you show a woman how to make $1,000 in an hour, she'll think, I only have to work an hour a week. Whereas if you show a man how to make $1,000 in an hour, he thinks, I can make $18,000 a day. That's the difference between us. So if I had a girl working for me making 20,000, she got 10, I got 10. If she quit, she'd make 3 for herself, if that.
Once you identify how your money is taken from you, you can start to actually intelligently think about how you can take money from other people. If I had to open a coffee shop, if I sit in a coffee shop, right? If I sit in Starbucks, the whole time I'm in there, not only am I thinking about how they got the money from me and how much I spent, I'm thinking about how I could outcompete. But you need to start thinking about how you can convince people to give you their money as opposed to giving it to places they already give. And once you do that, people say, I can't think of how to make money. If you start doing that for a year and just keep a notepad, you'll have 100 ideas of how to make money. You'll sit there and go, there's a place here that's doing this and we could do it better this way.